Here we are, week 6, color. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. I know you guys have had several writing assignments that probably were not as much fun. This is just reviewing some materials and taking a short quiz. It's about color. This is something that we touched on in this presentation a while back, and it's one of the elements of design, color. You can see the other ones here that we talked about, and here we are. Hello. Here we are back at color. So remember that color is basically how hue, intensity, and value are observed in pigment or light. Without the sun, we wouldn't see any colors at all, obviously. So light is an essential part of that. Purposes of color. There's a few, but the primary ones are to generate emotions, which we'll talk more about, to define importance of a design element or something within the design. It also creates visual interest. So obviously having a background color of white is not as interesting as a background with some color in it. There's several different types of colors: warms, cools, primaries, secondaries, complementaries, tertiaries, analogous, and monochromatic. You can see right here that warm is orange and red. Cool is like your purples and blues. Here's an example of a color wheel. It's got the cools on one side, warms on the other. Right here, we've got some of these that you've probably seen before. Primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. Secondary colors are orange, green, and purple. And if you didn't know that when you mix red and yellow together, you get orange. When you mix red and blue together, you get purple, etc. So that's how these colors are made. When you're mixing paints or inks of that nature. Let's talk about meanings. We looked at this in class, but to go over it again, colors symbolize different things, and so depending on the type of clients that you might be working for as a designer, there are certain colors that you want to try to stick with, and there's other colors that you want to stay away from. Obviously, the example I gave in class was doing design work for something in the medical field. When you're talking about health and life and death, etc., staying away from colors like black or red are obviously a thing that you want to try to do, especially when they symbolize blood and danger and things like that. So some of these qualities of red are good: passion, strength, etc. But you just have to kind of know that there are certain colors in certain contexts that you have to stay away from. And there's some colors that are better than others. Like, for example, green. It's a color that we see a lot in recycling. It's a color that we see a lot in the summertime. Obviously, we see it on trees and the ground when grass and different types of foliage are starting to come out in the spring and early summer. It's really bright, vibrant green. We talked about in class how that as the season goes to hot, dog days of summer, things get burned to a crisp, and then the fall comes, and anything that's green turns to yellows, oranges, browns, etc. But take a look at this list. Kind of familiarize yourself with what these colors mean. There'll be some of this on your quiz. So that's your assignment. Let's talk about that. Oh, let me say this. Some people are getting confused when I review one of these presentations, right? They get down here to the assignment and then they think that this is the assignment, to redo the assignment that we did in class. And that's not the case. We're not doing this assignment. Okay, that's the assignment we did earlier in the year. What we're going to do for this assignment this week is you're going to take a short 5-question quiz, and it's attached to the assignment. You look at the assignment here, you see the header, Dl06 Color. It's got an intro, like you're familiar with, and then it just has a brief description. There's going to be a link right here to this video on the YouTube channel. There'll also be a link down here at the bottom where I'll upload it. What you do see down here at this point is a color quiz. It's a Google form. I've got it selected to import this form into your Google Classroom, Class Drive folder rather. So it should pop up next to your name in the area that I do grading at in Google Classroom, so I can assign a grade to it and send it back to you. There are 5 questions. They are 20 points apiece, as it says right here. So I want you to use this Google form down here, and I want you to take the color quiz. It contains 5 questions from the material I just covered in my presentation slides. Make sure you take your time, refer back to the presentation slides if needed, and make sure you successfully answer each question correctly. The questions are worth 20 points each. Alright? So, if you miss more than 2 or more than 1, it's less than passing. So, please take your time and refer back to my presentation slides because I just went over the material that you need. I'm also going to upload down here this presentation. You'll see it as well, the presentation that I just went over, the presentation slides. But as I stated previously, about a minute and a half ago, please stay away from the assignment at the end of those slides. Your assignment on this Distance Learning Edition number 6 over color is to take this color quiz. When you click on it, you'll see it look something like this. All right. On this one right here, it says in my presentation, which of the following are 3 purposes of color? You have to choose all 3 answers to receive credit for this question. So 3 of those are correct, 2 of them are not. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up and on Remind or here in Google Classroom. And hope you're having a good week, staying safe, and I will see you guys next time around.